You know, Mercury is in retrograde. I mean, that is, are we rolling? Yes. I mean, it is in retrograde. See, I mean, that's like, yeah, no, it's really kind of crazy. But I don't know what made me, I was talking to Sean and I was like, because I just saw the new intro today, and I was like, Lindsay asked me how it was. I was like, it was so amazing. Everybody was crying, and Sean looked at me and I was like, okay, maybe I was the only one who was crying. But it actually, I think the lesson is really about parents, because I actually talked a lot about my parents in last night's class, because my parents finally left today. So I came home today, and then the house was really quite quiet. But I've learned a lot of things from my parents, as we do, but about one of the things that I mentioned yesterday that I think was really important is that I asked my parents how they survive life, because they're 79, and how do you just continue to move forward? And my dad said something that to me is just very, he's like a little Buddha and he doesn't realize it. He's like, you have to have a sense of humor. And he's really right. He's like, I think in order to get through, I'm always saying that it's important for us not to get, and that's why I mentioned the Mercury in retrograde thing, because things get wacky and we sometimes get triggered into interpreting things in such a stressful way. And I think if you realize once Mercury is out of retrograde, you won't maybe have the same reaction. So it's important to try to always keep things in balance. On the way here, I was listening to NPR and they were talking about this mass shooting of this school in Nigeria, and all these kids were burned alive. And I just, again, was like, that's a reason to really get stressed out. The things that we are, on a day-to-day basis that really wrong-foot us are really not big challenges in your life. So, but I did start thinking about my parents in terms of, yet again today, I am a teacher of the science of feeling, and I myself struggle with it. I can't find a more safe relationship than my relationship with my parents. I mean, some people don't have good relationships with their parents. I mean, Billy and I have talked, I get that. But for me, I can't imagine being more safe to express who I am than with my parents. And even with my parents, today when I said goodbye to them, I was feeling all this feeling, and I've done this many times. Instead of giving myself the permission to feel, I am concerned about how they're feeling. Listen, people, it is not your job to manage or control how other people react to your feeling. It's not your job to interpret how they will feel. It's also not your job to protect other people from feeling. You know what your job is? Your job is to simply feel in the moment. By sharing feeling, whatever is going on for you, even if it's quote-unquote inappropriate or overly emotional, or your judgments about it feel like you shouldn't be doing it, all the more reason you have to be brave. And look at, even with my parents, that was hard for me. Because I was trying to protect them from what I thought would be a colossal meltdown for themselves. And they're 79 and I don't want to put them through grief and I don't want them to worry. That's my stuff projecting onto them. And that's also my default so that I don't have to feel. Sure enough, I was driving here and I was like, right? And then in class, I cried again. And then a student so beautifully said, which is the truth about everything that we're learning here, is when you rob yourself from feeling out in the world, what are you also robbing somebody else of? Their opportunity to feel what they need to feel. Your job is not to dictate it. Your job is just to feel it. Share the feeling. Then you give somebody else the permission to share. And then what can happen? Well, it's magic. And I think it's interesting because we don't do that because we have to stop managing how people react to how we feel, because you have your own hard job just feeling yourself. And so what I said today, it's important to just keep remembering. You are just but a creative vessel. Let creativity work through you. Let creativity do its stuff for you. It wants to. And that is generally through this thing called feeling. That's it, especially as actors. It's not your job to try to edit, inhibit, judge, or in some way manipulate how the form is being expressed. Your job is just to show up and be open. So for me, it's a constant reminder of opportunity lost, moment by moment. That's really all I have to say. I said something here today. We have so many judgments about who we are that we don't allow ourselves just to be out in the world. We have so many judgments we all do, about who we are, that you don't allow yourself to just be. That's what we just got to keep trying to come back to. We don't ever get it solved, but with awareness, this is it. With awareness, so I had an opportunity today, didn't really maybe go as I could have been more brave, could have let go of all the things that I was holding on to, and had that, see, it's still right there. It's right there. Could have had that experience with my parents. I chose not to. Always take the brave, always try as best you can to take the brave step forward. Okay, that's all I have to say. Oh, I didn't mean to make you all feel really sad. Everybody's like, womp, womp. It's actually really uplifting and it's inspiring because you have another opportunity to do it again tomorrow. But we don't always. So,
can you call them and tell them?
Yes, of course I will. Yeah, I did already. I texted them. And it wasn't that I didn't say that I didn't love them. Is that the question, Amber?
No, just that they knew how much you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I did express all that. I just expressed it in a way, are we still rolling? I just expressed it in a way that was safe. See, that's the thing. That doesn't matter. Your job in life is not to seek safety and comfort. Your job is to lean toward the discomfort, the awkwardness of feeling. It's called vulnerability. That's who you are. And had I done it and had the experience, I would have walked away feeling this. But I didn't. So that's why I'm sharing it. All right. I'm sure you'll all make me feel. Because that's what we're all going to try to do together.